Is Senator Antonio Trillanes now, are you pro-Marcos? Yan ang tanong ng ilan, that you are turning a blind eye to the corruption in this government, the accusations against President Marcos Jr., former Speaker Martin Romualdez, that you are not criticizing them.
Okay.
Pro-Marcos ka na ba?
Ganito po, ang sagot ko dyan, let's just say that I am single-minded in my focus dito sa aking advocacy. I know the dangers. Sa 2028, pag nakabalik yung mga Duterte, gigibain nila yung demokrasya. I know yung iba kasi nakatingin sila, they're living in the moment. We were ringing the alarm bells noong 2016 na pagka naupo si Duterte, gigibain nila yung demokrasya. Look, nobody believed us. Look at ABS-CBN, Inquirer, Rappler, the other democratic institutions, and the people na pinapatay ngayon ngayon ay nililitis ngayon sa dahig. Yun ang nakikita ko doon sa mangyayari sa 2028. The people would have to forgive me if I won't have time for anything else kasi mabigat na laban itong just dealing with the Dutertes alone. And ako, all the rest, I'm not, kumbaga hindi ko minamaliit kung ano man yung nadidiscover na dito. Ngayon, if anybody, kung meron kayong nakikitang ebidensya, testigo, then i-file nyo. But I only have two hands and I'm going to use these two hands para dito sa aking primary agenda, which is to make sure na mapanagot yung mga Duterte sa kanilang krimen.
So kumbaga what you're saying is you are single-minded and your main advocacy is really first justice.
Yes.
Diba? Justice with Duterte's EJK killings, or to put the family under a microscope.
That's one.
Okay.
Duterte, justice for the families, victims.
And you want the Vice President impeached?
Yes, because ito, anong implication ng Sara Duterte presidency? Babalik yung patayan, babalik yung massive corruption, babalik yung paggiba ng institution. Media would be under the gun, the different institutions would be under the gun. You can just imagine, under a Sara Duterte presidency, nakita nyo how unhinged she could be, pagka mercurial siya. Then, that's just one part. Ang Speaker of the House niyan, for sure, is going to be Pulong Duterte. Nakita niyo yung sumasaksak nung bugaw. Ganon. They will be running the show. Para ka ng isang mafia family running a government. Pag di ka kinikilabutan dyan, then hindi mo nakikita ang implications. Kaya doon ako nakatingin na mas mabigat na problema ng ating bayan.
Okay. Now, so for 2028, do you believe that there should be a partnership of some kind between this administration and the group of former Vice President Leni Robredo that's heavily criticized on social media? Ang tawag ni Attorney Rowena Guanzon, parang kain-suka, no?
Yeah.
Parang ganon.
Okay. Kung may kain-suka dito, it's Attorney Guanzon. Doon na siya kay Duterte. That's even worse, di ba? Anyway, ganito. Yung certainty na matatalo yung kalaban at hindi na makakabalik yung mga Duterte at hindi nila magigiba yung demokrasya natin at hindi na mamimiligro ang bayan natin. And by the way, hindi ko na-mention, si Duterte, senior ran the economy to the ground. Sila yung worst na economy in history ng demokrasya natin. Sara Duterte is going to be just as bad.
Well, just to balance the conversation, COVID also happened.
Yes, but even sa lahat ng bansa, di ba? The Filipinos had the worst performing
in COVID.
COVID. Tapos diyan lumabas yung mga Farmally, yung Sinovac, kumita sila ng 100 billion pesos diyan. Kaya isa yan sa mga it pales in comparison with what's yung nakikita nyo ngayon. Anyway, even the flood control, kanina nagsimula yan? Dito, Duterte. Yeah. So, bottom line, itong 2028, kailangan magsanib pwersa para head-to-head yung laban. A unity candidate versus a Duterte candidate. That's the only way to defeat these people.
And you think, because you were there, during the time of former President Arroyo, during the time when her numbers were at 16% at its lowest, and it was branded that if she endorsed someone, it would actually be a kiss of death.
Yeah.
You don't believe that this administration is in that kiss of death mode?
No, not yet. I don't believe that. Why? Because there is a solid Marcos base. There is that solid north na no matter what, ando doon sila. Ganon din yung Duterte, di ba? May ano sila, may solid Duterte base. Ngayon, yung middle forces, ano ka, pagka nandiyan ka, you won't get either of these camps. So, ma-squeeze out ka na naman dito. You don't have the resources, you don't have the machinery. So where will you go? Ngayon, naintindihan ko itong mga purists na tipong they romanticize na tipong let's do this thing on our own. Eh kung pwede yon, if you have a...
Parang move that, parang Cory Aquino face. Parang
Yes,
ganun yung mga ilang purists.
Oh, if you have a candidate like, let's say, si Pinoy, the late President Aquino, na talagang kahit na from the outside sa rockstar yung dating nun kasi because of certain circumstances. But we don't have that now. We don't have it yet, no? Kung meron yan by next year, why not? But learning from the lessons in 2022, we need to start building this itong puwersa na to for that. At so hindi imagine kasi kung mag-field yung administration ng kandidato nila, mawawala na sa iyo yung solid north na yun. Kasi endorse ni President Marcos yun. Mawawala na rin itong Duterte base. So doon ka ulit, pipitas ka na lang kung somewhere.
Okay. So if that's the case, I'm curious, why did you criticize Senator Bam Aquino so fiercely when he said, ideally, those involved in extrajudicial killings, namely Senator Bato de la Rosa and Senator Bongo, he was asked to react on those two, should be tried in a country where the crimes happen. So all that Senator Bam Aquino said was ideally they should be tried in the Philippines. And you criticized him na sumisip-sip siya sa Duterte camp.
No, ganito kasi.
Oo.
Ang larger context niyan, during the campaign of 2022, I was sitting down with him and former VP Lenny, was a candidate then for president. Sinabi ni Senator Bam Aquino sa akin directly, personally, na kung mananalo daw si VP Lenny, ay hindi nila ibibigay sa dahig si Digong.
Sinabi nila yon.
Walang ideally doon, walang ganyan, walang qualifier. Sinabi niya sa akin doon. It was, nung time na yon,
pag nanalo si VP Lenny na presidente,
noong 2022,
hindi nila ibibigay si Digong, sa The Hague.
So yun yung position nila from the very start. Ako, I let it slide because we need VP Lenny to win, saka ko na lang siya i-convince ko, mananalo siya. Pero, gano'n na yung position niya eh.
But doesn't that prove nga that Senator Bam is consistent? Meaning he has not changed his position.
Pero bakit? 'Di ba? Bakit ganon? Remember, ito na, para lang malagay sa konteksto. When we expressed our intention to file the ICC case, nagpadala ng emisaryo sa akin si VP Lenny, 3. Kung pwede daw wag kong i-file. Kasi baka daw pagbalingan si VP Lenny nung ano. So, 'di ba? Sa akin hindi pwede 'yon. Sabi ko, dapat nga siya yung nangunguna mag-file nito eh. 'Di ba? That's how bad I felt nung pinadala yung mga emisaryo na 'yon. Kaya ni-reject ko 'yon and we went ahead with that filing. So, that was their position then. Kaya ito yung context, ano na lang 'yon? Yung cap out na lang yung mga ideally. But having said that, ganito yan. May selection process. Okay. It's Senator Risa, si Senator Bam, si VP Lenny.
Is she still in the mix?
She declined.
Yeah.
But ito kasi, kung magdi-decide si VP Lenny, kahit na kung ano man yung policy differences namin about dito, pag ikumpara mo siya kay Sara Duterte, by a mile, natural. Everybody should go for VP Leni. I would go for her. Pero we don't have time. Hindi tayo pwedeng parang pinapartidahan natin si Sara Duterte. So much is at stake dito. Wag naman ganon. It's unfair. Ngayon, ganon din kay Senator Bam. Kahit na may diferensya kami na ganyan, but in the end, pag siya'y mapipili ng proseso, tutulungan natin siya. Kailangan natin siyang ipanalo. But
does criticizing him openly help your agenda? In other words, does it strengthen the opposition against Sara?
Hindi naman. Kasi ganito, unang-una, this is very personal to us. Grabe naman sakripisyo ng ginawa dito. And not only for me.
Meaning for your Duterte, yung bringing him to justice.
Yes. You cannot just parang ginaganon mo lang sa isang tabi na parang wala yan. Huwag naman ganon. So, I needed to call him out para next time, mag-minor ka rin. Di ba? Pero, it doesn't mean na parang suddenly pagka siya'y napili ng proseso I will abandon him. No, tutulungan ko siya. Pero having said all of these things, while si VP Leni yung kumbaga kung magde-decide siya, tatakbo siya, tatalunin niya Pero wag na yung kumbaga wag na tayong reluctant candidate mode kasi gas-gas na yan. If you want to serve this country, you don't need to declare it. You just need to start working for it.
Okay. I want to ask you, do you believe, let's say the ICC, the hearing continues, the charges are confirmed, let's move forward, and the ICC hypothetically convicts Duterte. Hypothetical po ito. Don't you think our local courts, and natanong ko rin to kay Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, kay Attorney Lacanilao, if our courts see the ICC decision on Duterte, don't you think our local courts can now handle Senator Bato, Senator Bongo, moving on to the next administration? Do you believe our courts are independent, strong enough? Kasi ang magandang punto, padadala mo lahat ng Pilipino sa ICC na may sala?
Hindi naman.
Or may suspetsya ka?
No. Ang ICC, ang sakop lang nila yung mga masterminds.
Yung co-perpetrators.
Yun ando doon lang sa leadership position.
So ilan yun sila now? Are they 5?
Ang nakalagay is 8 lahat-lahat.
Okay.
Pero I believe na at most siguro 4 lang ang mai-issuehan ng warrant.
Okay.
So, all the rest, pwede natin sila i-try under the Republic Act 9851. Tapos, pero, yun na nga, you will now be vulnerable kasi na-imagine mo yung mga testigo against these people. These are very powerful people. Pinapatay nga Yun na nga yung allegation sa kanila Tapos, imagine mo yung prosecutor na mag-handle nito o yung judge na mag-i-issue ng warrant. Hindi ba sila vulnerable na? Bigyan din sila ng is either i-coerce, i-co-op, di ba? Kung ano man ang gawin. And
so you don't believe our local courts?
Not very powerful people.
We're not politically insulated enough, you think, even for Bato and Bongo?
Ito na lang, sample na lang. Yung mga Napoles cases, di ba, in the end nawala. Ngayon, ganito, yung justice system natin, nag-work siya sa mga ordinaryong Pilipino. Mga hindi nag-i-impluwensya or hindi mayaman o naglalagay.
Pero kung makapangyarihan ka sa Pilipinas,
kung makapangyarihan ka, makakalusot ka. That's the fact of the matter. And that's the reason why the ICC was designed. Hindi lang para sa developing countries, even sa mga developed countries. Kasi pag may diktador na naupo dyan, kaya niyang gibain yung iba't ibang institusyon para proteksyon niya yung sarili niya.
Okay. Now, what do you make of the visit of President Marcos Jr. to Vice President Leni in Naga? Okay, I mean, he was wearing pink socks. It's spreading all over social media that 500 million pesos was given to Naga for the Coliseum. I mean, what's your take?
Obviously, it's a signal by the Marcos administration na open kami for a coalition. Now, it's up to the pink or the middle forces to reciprocate. Kaya yung mga purists who are getting in the way, Sila kasi okay lang sa kanila na kahit manalo si Sara they can just migrate or they can just live ordinary lives. Pero yung mga nakakita kung ano ang peligro at nakaramdam ng peligro ng isang Duterte administration, that's a small price to pay para lang masigurado natin na maayos natin yung bansa at makapagserbisyo at ma-prevent itong pagbabalik ng dark forces dito sa ating bansa.
But what happens, Senator Trillanes, to the billions that were stolen in flood control? I mean, you have the 2025 budget, 22, 23, 24, 25 that we know, went to the hands of people close to the president.
Okay. I agree. Naintindihan ko yung sentimento mo. Pero ito yan. It starts with electing somebody who is incorruptible, hindi corrupt, may reform agenda, paano to make sure hindi na mangyari ito. And I'll bring you back do sa panahon ni President Aquino. 'Di ba grabe corruption nung panahon ni GMA? Naupo si President Aquino, nahinto 'yon. Hindi niya ginawang priority yung paghabol dun sa mga gumawa ng pagkakasala. Pero nahinto. Hindi ba mas okay na mahinto muna si President Aquino because he didn't have any time. Uunahin niyang maayos muna yung sistema than devoting yung oras dun sa mga paghahabol doon.
Kumbaga isa-isa muna.
Yes. Then, kung ma-elect mo ulit yung next president na maayos, magiging culture na yan sa ating bureaucracia.
Okay. Now, Senator Bato de la Rosa has not been going to the Senate, right? And a complaint has been filed before the Senate Ethics Committee. You were once a senator. What happens if you don't attend? Ano bang parusa sa inyo nun?
Meron ng mga precedents dito. Yung nangyari kay Senator Lacson. When he was being persecuted by GMA, ginawan siya ng kaso. So nagtago siya. After 9 months, tinost na yung office niya. Tapos yung mga staff niya, inabsorb ng Senate Secretary. So, that's one of the ways to deal with that.
But is the Senate taking a soft stand right now? I mean, is Senator J.V. Ejercito, is he like...
Ito yung real political dilemma dyan. You need at least 2/3 of the Senate, of the whole Senate, para mag-censure ka, whether it's suspension, expulsion.
2/3?
2/3. Mabigat yan kasi 24 lang. When I was there, 24 lang kayo And it's very personal yung relationship nyo. Mahirap yung suddenly you will vote to expel somebody. Pwede kayo magkaroon ng policy differences, pero to do that, mabigat yun. Magsusunugan kayo ng tulay baka maaring gamitin nyo in the future. Kunyari may file ka na importanteng batas, it cannot be undone. Mabigat yan.
So you honestly believe, I mean, based on your experience, just when it comes to Senator Bato de la Rosa situation, they will let this slip?
No, not really. Probably they will try to explore yung suspension ng sweldo niya. Or voluntarily, baka sabihin ni Bato, hindi niya kukunin yung sweldo niya. That's it. Pwede siguro gawin yung kagaya ng ginawa kay Senator Lacson, shut down yung opisina, at i-absorb na lang yung staff para naman for humanitarian reasons.
Okay. All right. Now, I know you have to go, but my last question is looking at the press conference with the 18 alleged Marines and those who received the alleged payoffs, what is the common denominator that you see?
Ang common denominator dito is merong active attempt ang Duterte camp na pabagsakin yung Marcos administration para makabalik sila sa pwesto, maproteksyonan yung sarili nila. Meron ding active effort to discredit the ICC in whatever means necessary. So, yun yung kanilang makikita mo sa lahat ng galaw nila, yun ang agenda nila.
All right. On that note, I want to thank you for coming to Head Start Live so early in the morning. Thank you so much for that. Former Senator